What up, Internet land? Mark Fest, author of Surthrival Guide for Living in America Car-Free. This is the video I was originally wanting to make before my computer had been attacked by malware. Figure the least you deserve is a peek at the introduction chapter. Also, heads up, this is what the Amazon upload did with the table of contents section. I'm working to get that mopped up still, though the chapter links work properly. The chapters themselves are written to be somewhat standalone, so you can go directly to what aspect of car-free interests you the most. So this mess is just a cosmetic issue. And the rest of the book, including the illustrations, looks okay. So let's spell out the intro here. Introduction. Wait, you live in America? Nay, in Fargo, North Dakota, and you don't keep a car? Are you insane? Insane? No. Crazy? Yes. So how did I get this idea of living in America without a car? It happened over time. Visiting New York City, I remember the wow I experienced at the concept of not needing a car to go places. Simply pay 35 cents for the subway token, try to not get mugged, and one was off to almost anywhere. Add blazingly colorful aerosol art of the 1970s to trains, stations, rooftops, and it was not too hard to predict. The white cars painted on the now gone West Side Highway, visible when looking straight down from western side of the late Twin Towers Observatory, was a worthwhile question to me. Growing up in Connecticut and Florida, I got my overfill of car-based lifestyle. I had to cajole older family members to take me anywhere farther than 300 feet away from the house. We crawled through the traffic and circled the parking lots. At age 17, I got the magic plastic with the awful picture that supposedly meant freedom. The freedom of crawling through more traffic, watching my gas gauge draw towards empty, paying for registration, paying hundreds more for car insurance, then thousands more for gas. This is freedom? Oh dear. I got my own Toyota Tercel in 1989 after graduating from college and zipped about in North Florida, then in Connecticut. Everything went fine until early 1991 when I hit a deer on the Merritt Parkway while doing 75 miles an hour. Weeks later, I got my insurance check for $3,000 and an offer to move in to stay with family in the San Francisco Bay Area. I would not need a car, which meant I could bank my check. The Bay Area, circa age 24, is where I had my first taste of day-to-day life without a car as a theoretical adult. Loaded with various pitfalls and inconveniences for sure, but also with multiple rewards. It took me less time to bike from Sunset Beach to my job at Market and Van Ness than it did for my boss to drive nearly the exact same route, minus 6 blocks. Biking past grazing bison and tulip gardens in Golden Gate Park meant my ride was also far more enjoyable than his. Eventually, I came to realize that I could afford a much higher standard of living by not needing to spend thousands on a car. Parking consisted of tying my bike to the streetlight nearest to the front door of wherever I was going. Best of all, in my upper 20s and lower 30s, while nearly everyone else my age was getting steadily heavier and thicker around the middle, along with this pallid skin tone, my own weight was the same number it was when I was 17, even as I ate whatever I so wanted, accompanied by beer pitchers to match. This was pretty cool, though I soon learned that San Francisco was training wheels as far as my lifestyle went. My real education with going car-free began when I moved from the Bay Area back to Jacksonville, Florida in 1998. I knew adjustments were required, but actually making them in real life was different. Apart from the beaches, Duval County and the city of Jacksonville are one and the same, which means the city covers 841 square miles. My lifestyle was much more a novelty, one that others, including those behind the wheel or personnel desk, did not understand. From my own point of view, it was like living on a Montana homestead in that any time I left the house, I pedaled anywhere from 3 to 30 miles to get someplace. In late '01, I moved to Miami to accept a job offer and live with my aunt and cousins. This further rounded out my education and adjustments with car-free life. I returned to the Bay Area by late 2002. I missed my San Fran training wheels while living in the East Bay suburbia, but it worked okay. In '07, I moved to Chicago. While I don't consider Chi-Town to be a great cycling environment, Mr. Daly and Mr. Emanuel have both made nice strides in this regard, however. Chicago's transit is certainly miles ahead of that in the Bay Area. In 2012, I moved to Fargo, North Dakota, and have done well through the longest and harshest winters in the lower 48, at least apart from the mountain regions. My general lifestyle is pretty straight. I'm pretty well off economically, big plus in the 2020s, and I still do not wish to get a car. Some of the Car Free is an offshoot of my original volume Surthrival Guide for Under 18ers. I like helping those who are disenfranchised or simply different to make it in a clown world. For myself personally, not having a car is a lifestyle choice in the direction of freedom. Just as some people feel happier and freer on motorcycles, I simply feel a lot happier and freer on my pedal bike. Why should I spend thousands on a car that I will just use to drive to work most of the time? Similarly, I take the admonition, "You have to have a car," as a challenge to say, "No, I don't," and thus far have met the challenge successfully. Your own situation could be different. There's a whole variety of reasons anybody might want or need to try living car-free. Indeed, car-free benefits you particularly if you seek to regain that awesome tone and shape your body had at age 17. You are already in good shape. Now you want to be in awesomely ripped shape. You want to build your mental toughness, train, or push yourself. You lost your driver's license due to reckless or drunk driving and are determined that this event not ruin your life. You have seizures, medical, or mental issues that prevent you from driving safely. You are concerned about the deterioration of the environment as relating to petrochemical-based pollution and the paving over of every square foot of earth. You wish to simplify your personal or family life. You're a serious gamer or simply spend a lot of time online, and you know that living car-free helps balance out your hours of screen time, particularly if you realize the same in regards to a desk job. You prefer an outdoors-oriented lifestyle, and car-free is the logical way to enhance that. You don't want to be like that freak from Fargo, North Dakota, but your summers are just too short. You don't want to be like that psycho dude from Florida, but your so-called winter months are just entirely too exquisite. See above for your fall, spring, wet, dry, calm, tourist, non-tourist seasons anywhere. You want to reinvent yourself, and you know living car-free is a worthy challenge that, met correctly, brings a worthy payoff. You want to create a life that you don't feel the need to escape from. You see yourself and your family as at risk by depending on our industrial era energy grid for your survival in a world that is too dangerous, too interdependent, and too insane. You resent that the time wasted sitting in traffic or circling parking lots is gone forever. You are on the autism spectrum, have bipolarity, ADHD, or simply cannot sit still for too long, and have come to notice that you do a whole lot better when you spend less time in the four-wheel box. You face the choice of affording a place to live versus a car, but not both. You are tempted by the thought of putting away thousands or tens of thousands of dollars and would simply love to get ahead financially. You attend college or university and know that staying car-free keeps thousands of dollars from getting added to your student loan balance. You work a mobile employment or living scenario, whether you are a wait staffer at a summer vacation spot, an instructor at a ski resort, or other. Or you are one of the newly mobile who simply needs to email whatever to whomever after you have worked on it a while from anywhere. If you don't have to keep a car while residing at a certain place for multiple months, you're ahead in that game. The longer you keep that sort of thing going, the bigger and faster your cash stash grows. You are in the military, and the likelihood of being sent anywhere else on the planet on a couple hours' notice makes keeping a car a liability. You travel about with an RV, drive a truck, or live a similarly nomadic lifestyle, and car-free is perfect for when you set up camp. The business you run has a very specialized vehicle, maybe a carpenter's van, mobile office, or food truck. Your chances of making it are greatly enhanced if you don't have to pay to own or run a normal car in addition to that. The business you run needs no vehicle of any kind apart from an internet connection. Its survivability chances are also greatly enhanced if you don't need a car. You still keep a car, but you know that the fewer miles on your odometer, the more commas in your bank balance. You seek to drive when you want to, not when you need to. Your household only has one single car versus a more typical scenario of 2 to 5 cars. You're not originally from the United States or Canada and are planning to not drive while here in the States, at least not in the beginning. It's the 2020s, COVID, riots, more than a few epic disasters, layoffs, business closings, vaccination mandates, moving and relocation. All this upheaval has you wondering what you really want out of life in a way that runs deeper than career actualization or some bucket list. Simplifying your life? Good for you. It doesn't even require you to give up your car per se. If you wish to drive your car only a couple times a month, or if you want to downsize to share a single car in your household, this book will definitely help you. Indeed, when you don't sit in traffic daily and only drive for vacations or special occasions, it's actually rather enjoyable. A car-free lifestyle clearly benefits your financial well-being, though be aware that while spending thousands less on the car, you spend hundreds more in other ways, most of them more enjoyable or at least justifiable. This book is not about how to live off the grid without money, nor is it about how to live in poverty. I do not voluntarily do poverty, and neither should you. What do I want? All I can get. Car-free helps me towards that end. Toughen yourself up? Pedaling to work daily helps with that, whether it's 95 out, -5, sun, sleet, snow, especially if it's a significant distance. Clears your thoughts nicely too. Personally, I prefer simplicity instead of complexity in my own life. However, this is not about how to live without things like cat litter, microwave ovens, or computers. Instead, I give ideas on how to get all this stuff home. There are some who consider it a violation of the spirit of car-free lifestyle if one has a pizza brought by a delivery person using a car, or receives a house call from a veterinarian who drives around in an RV office. Yes, someone actually told me this. Please understand that I am not writing about a purist life. I do not virtue signal. If my vacation calls for a car rental, I will be in line at the airport counter like anybody else. For an idea how often I do that, as of 2019, my last car rental previous to that was in 2010, though I have rented a car in later 2020. This is not a book on being a professional shut-in. If you are elderly, handicapped, or otherwise disabled, you may well need a car, and there is nothing I could say to mitigate that fact. That being said, I still hope you find this book of use in other regards, an enjoyable read, or helpful for other family members. Please note there is a specific chapter for those with disabilities. There are times I myself would enjoy being a professional shut-in or hermit, but those instances pass in a couple of days. I do or have done things like commute to work, take classes, hang out at friends' houses, work out at the gym, buy things, bring food home, take garbage out to city transfer station. I have most of the accoutrements of American life, multiple computers, 2 cats, well, they're no longer, but I did at the time, microwave, barbecue, no gaming system or conventional TV set, however. I do most of the things that most people do, have to do, and want to do. And that's the point of this book, to show you how to get what you want and need out of life in America without a car. This is not a survival manual for living through the collapse of civilization. I touch upon this in regards to disaster preparation, though if you want how-tos on writing out the end of the world as we know it, you should supplement this read with further research. Why does he talk about this in here? Mission creep is a significant hazard in writing any how-to. Living car-free has a lot of moving parts, so I cover many things which do not seem related to it at all, yet are critical to success with such. There is much more to car-free life than simply knowing how to make a left turn at a major intersection. So yeah, I help you connect the apparently unrelated dots so you don't find yourself desperate at a car lot some days or months down the road. Why include chapters about working conventional jobs as well as working from home and starting one's own business? Because if you are not economically successful living car-free, you will not consider the rest of your car-free life a win either. In fact, you'll wonder what on earth made you consider such an idiotic idea as your friends and family all bleat, "Dude, you need a car." Why the chapters about disaster preparation and protecting oneself against crime? Because if you don't know how to take care of yourself and your family leading up to, through, and beyond a hurricane, blizzard, forest fire, riot, or simple parking lot altercation, you might not be alive afterwards to tell your friends what an otherwise great book this is. There are plenty of life scenarios we face, and if they go poorly, our American mindset is going to really blame the fact that you don't have a car. If you personally do not blame things going seriously wrong on your lack of a car, anybody else who hears the story relating to your misfortune will. We both prefer that you be successful living car-free, and thus I cast the how-to net out pretty far and wide. Though I talk some about using transit or ride services in car-free life, I largely tilt this book in the direction of walking and biking, and mostly biking. Unless you are blessed enough to live in the 1 or 2% of America where local transit is actually good, you will find it easier to bypass the local bus to simply rely on yourself and your two-wheeled steed. And quite honestly, I loathe buses. If I get on one, I'm either very lazy or very desperate. Final thing, I must stress heavily. Use your imagination. Brainstorm. Investigate. Try out quirky arrangements and original solutions in your life. Car-free life in America has been largely uncharted territory since the 1950s, and it comes with twists and turns that just won't show up on road maps. On that note, grab the back of my seat and hang on. This book and all material inside of it is for entertainment purposes only. Enjoy! So there you have the intro chapter, and a much better idea of who this might help, and that possibly you yourself are among that elite or lowly of the whom. I say it like that because in the 2020s, anything could be going on in your life, anything could be going on in that of a loved one. The world has just been that cray-cray. So this is the Amazon screenshot of how and where to find Surthrival Guide for Living in America Car-Free. Notice the book section search term is spelled Surthrival, comma, F like Foxtrot, 2 E's, S like Sierras, T like Tango. Not even $10 US for the Kindle version. And it's through Amazon as an ebook, so you don't even have to worry about it disappearing from your front porch. Switching gears a little bit, this last part is brief, technical, as one would not want to keep this ebook if they cannot view it. The screenshots are from my own Kindle via laptop Firefox view of things. Here, the Firefox view was zoomed into 170% in those single column view text pics. Next, at 150%, the text view divided into double columns, again, at least on my own computer. Lastly, please renote that the table of contents view is experiencing formatting issues, though in spite of cosmetic messiness, the content links work properly, at least on my own Kindle via laptop/Firefox. The point of this being, viewer experience may vary between browsers, softwares, and devices. Thank you so much for checking this out. Got questions, thoughts, ideas? Please leave those in the comments field so I can best give what you need with this channel. Of course, like, subscribe, tell a friend. Laters, Mark out.